How you doing? Jason Mills from the GGRM law firm. Happy to be here today. Catch us on the GangboX podcast.
Welcome to the GangboX podcast. We are back, episode 14. All things union, all things construction, all things Las Vegas, and we have a guest.
Hello.
Guest.
Hi.
Please introduce yourself.
Tell us who you are, where you're from, why you're here.
Listen, my name's Jason Mills. I'm a workers' compensation attorney here. I was born and raised here. My folks worked in casinos. They were dealers. And I actually grew up working up on Charleston Avenue at the Plant World Nursery, 14 years old, loading and unloading trucks, manure. That was good.
Fuck yeah.
That's good for a kid, right?
I heard it's a shitty job, but somebody's got to do it.
It was. But, you know, it made me learn a couple of things. Work your ass off, and you get, you know, someone takes care of you. You get paid well. And I learned the hard way that way. I had uncles in the Teamsters, aunt in culinary, so family, I had union folks.
So It's safe to say you are the union's comp attorney.
Yeah, I mean, I take care of, absolutely. My firm, GGRM Law Firm, we've been around 56 years. I've been practicing 26 years.
Really?
Yeah. It stacks up. But we take care of all the unions down here in the South and in the North. We've got offices up there as well, but we discounted rates for them. Go up to Carson City during the sessions, work a lot with you, Vince, and your team, fighting the good fights while we're up there, making sure that working men and women in the state are taken care of.
Yeah, for sure. You want to go?
Yeah, so, I mean, we I don't know, last episode or maybe it was the episode before, we actually touched on, members getting hurt, and, a lot of times we don't report it. Something happens on the job site. We brush it under the rug. We keep going. I know I've personally dealt with quite a few members who later, weeks later, of like, man, I'm hurt. What am I supposed to do? And, as a business agent, we enforce our collective bargaining agreements. And so once there's like workers' comp issues that start coming up, a lot of times our hands are tied with what we can do, and we just have to refer them to a lawyer. Like you need to see a lawyer, right? Because we're not lawyers, as much as we like to pretend we are ones on TV. We're not. And so once it goes past the collective bargaining agreement, my hands are kind of tied. So, like what are some of the biggest mistakes that you see workers make when they are injured, possibly injured, or when something happens on the job that negatively affects their lives?
You said it, Daniel. I mean, the biggest thing is notice. So we have a two-step system here in Nevada. You have to give notice and then file a claim. So the most important thing that we can tell your members is if they get injured on the job, you have to give written notice within 7 days of the incident, of the accident. The good thing is a lot of guys, I think, maybe wrongfully think that if they give notice, that's a claim. It's not. It's just them like, hey, boss, blew out my left knee today. I'm not going to go see a doctor. I just letting you know that this happened. Came off the scaffolding, hurt my left knee, but I'm going to take Advil, icy hot. It'll probably go away. If he gives that form or she gives that form, then they've got 90 days to file a claim. So what often beats these guys or beats the claims is they didn't give that initial notice. You don't give that initial notice, they come to you 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks later, 2 months later, and they're like, hey, man, the knee just doesn't get... Did you give written notice? No. Uh-oh.
Would a text message qualify as a written notice? Like texting the boss exactly what you say, hey, blew out my knee, I'm just going to ice it today and tomorrow. Is that considered written notice?
Well, yes. Here, there's a case that basically says, from the Supreme Court, says, you know what? If an employer is on actual notice of the injury, that something actually happened and they're on notice of it, the requirement to give the written notice to the employer is removed. Now, I know what's going to happen. The guys are going to hear this and hear that they don't have to file a written notice. But yeah, that's bad because a lot of times if you text the wrong person who's not a supervisor, who's not a boss, you better save it. But the nice thing is with text, at least we have proof nowadays.
Yeah.
if they don't have the form. But I can send you guys links. You can put it in the podcast, whatever, right to the state website where the forms are at. They're real easy to fill out.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, if our members' forms aren't a thing, right? And so I think that's why he asked like a text message, because like if I'm on the job and I twist my ankle, I feel like when I go to my boss and go, hey, I twisted my ankle, I'm going to take Advil, I'm going to ice it, I should be good, but I'm letting you know, like that should be enough. But if that foreman doesn't do anything with that information, you're kind of screwed. So now, our members got to go online and find a form and fill it out. It seems easy to us, but it's not. It's like it's a pain in the ass to get them to do that.
So before you jump into the response, if the member does that, and I know there's going to be a lot of what ifs here, but so if that's the case, but they come to us, are we allowed to help them fill out the form?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They can have their steward help them out, a lawyer help them out, their buddy help them out, as long as they just fill out the form correct.
Who do they submit the form to?
Their supervisor, the HR department, the foreman, who's ever's in charge. I like to tell them, send it by email so that they have proof, like it came out of their Gmail account. And they're like, no, I sent the form on this date.
Yeah.
What's the E in email stand for?
The E in email? Electronic.
Evidence.
I like that.
Yeah.
Forever.
Forever.
Like that with an F-E.
So let's say they do that, right? What if the employer, then they're like, hey, you're a liability, we got to cut you loose, sorry, because you filled this out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's against the law.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's where we can come in.
Yeah, that's right.
That's where we have a contract.
The Walmart attorneys.
Yeah. Excuse me. Did you just let my client go?
Yeah. I think that's
Temu. Attorneys on Temu.
Yeah. I think that's the great thing about collective bargaining, what you guys do, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you guys have additional powers, strengths through your collective bargaining agreement that protect your members. It's great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and that's always the concern, right? I mean,
right.
They do not, and like we've talked about this on the podcast before, like the leverage the members have, right? When there's tons of work and they can go anywhere, they're probably going to be much more likely to be like, yep, twisted my ankle. Here, make sure I'm covered. When there is no work, if you're working for a company and there's like no work and this is the only job, you're going to be a lot more likely to be like, man, I'm not going to say anything about my ankle. It's going to be fine. I'm not going to jeopardize my job just because my ankle is going to hurt for a couple days, right? And they have to weigh those things out in their minds.
Well, let me give you a story of a scenario where just like that bit a guy pretty bad.
Yeah.
It was a union member. Not trades. It was a firefighter. He was a captain, great dude. He was working on the engine, whatever, with the guys. They were doing whatever they do to those things, and he jumped off the back of the ladder and landed wrong, twisted his knee and his low back. I mean, it was obvious to his guys that he did. Now he was the captain, so he was the guy in charge of the house, right? And he landed, twisted it up. And the guys were like, hey, Cap, you all right? He's like, I'm good. He just went in. And he kind of like, after I talked to him, he was like, nah, I just try to like walk it off. So he did exactly what you said your members are going to do. I'm not going to file forms. I'm not going to turn paperwork in. And he was like, I'm not the suing type. I'm not going to do that. I'm just a working dude. I'm working hard, doing my thing. 3 weeks later, he's like, this knee and this low back isn't going away. So he filed his C4, the claim, right, to say that, hey, I got hurt. They denied the claim, said you didn't give notice, the C1, the initial form. Remember I said it's a two-step?
Yep.
Well, we get into court in front of the judge, and he's testifying. And the judge asked him, he's like, why didn't you fill out the form? And he was like, well, I didn't want to cause any problems. I wasn't trying to litigate against anybody. He goes, well, you're a captain. Do you tell your guys when they get hurt to fill out the form? He's like, yeah, of course. Yeah. He's like, well, the only person you hurt was you, because now that claim is on your back because I have to deny it because you knew and you still didn't file the paperwork. Now, here's the thing about he lost. We lost. That claim went down in flames, and this was a legit injury. The other side was even saying, "We're not saying you didn't get hurt. You didn't give notice." I mean, he just got hosed. Yeah,
no pun intended with the hose. firefighter.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. None. Well, maybe
a little bit.
Yeah. But he was a good dude, man, and there was no dispute. It wasn't like, we don't believe you. I mean, because he had the tear in the knee and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it was there. It was just because he didn't give that notice. And that's why it's so important. Even when jobs are going, they're a little thinner, just giving notice. Like you said, the text, the boss, hey, I hurt my ankle. I don't think I'm going to go out for meds right now. I'm just going to take icy hot. I'm good. I'll be on the shift tomorrow. Don't worry about it, boss.
Yeah.
At least you've got that. Because what happens if 3 weeks later, a month later, 2 months later, I think now he can't work. Now what's he going to do?
And so when you say they denied it, is it the employer that's denying it? Is it the insurance company that's denying it? Who is they that is denying the claim?
That's a great question. So in Nevada, we have a private system. Used to be state run for 80, 90 years. Then it became private in the 90s, fully privatized by the late 90s, early 2000s. So now you have private insurance companies or self-insured employers, or they hire out third-party administrators called TPAs. So it's typically an insurer, a TPA, or sometimes in-house self-insured employees have their own risk management department. We don't see that a lot in the trade, so it's usually a group or a third-party administrator or a collective fund that everybody's in on together, and they have an administrator handling it. So that's that's the other party.
And now that it's private, is the process still seem fair and the same, or does it seem more sloped because it's insurance companies and shit?
It is much worse. So for the first 80 years in this state and all over the country, we had what was called remedial or liberal construction, small L, not Republican Democrat thing, but liberal construction, meaning if there was a question on whether something went down, or if there was a question on the medical evidence, or if there's a question on the legal issue, the courts would go, let's go in favor of the injured worker because the system's remedial. It's supposed to take care of the injured worker. Well, when it became privatized in the early 1990s, the private companies, when they came in and said, well, we're going to take all this risk. We want neutral construction. And we already know what neutral construction is going to mean. We've got to prove everything. The whole point to the workers' compensation system was not to be set up that way.
Right.
And now we're proving it up like a regular lawsuit. It's wrong. It's crazy, but that's the system we're in the last 30-some years.
So these are essentially insurance companies that the employers are paying a premium for.
Yes.
And so the employer, even if the employer's like, man, I know the guy got hurt, like in your example, they have these insurance companies that are like, hey, your premiums are going to go up. You can't take this claim. We got to fight. It's kind of like with your car insurance, right? I mean, when the claim hits, then their premiums go up. And so that's what's driving their denials.
I think it's worse than that because the system is what they call a tripartite system. So there's a three-party system. So there's employer, worker, insurer. They have their own interests. So even if the employer and the injured worker are on the same page, the insurer can be like, we have our rights.
Right.
So, and they exert theirs, right? So that's something you've got to be on the lookout for.
Well, and it's kind of all making sense, like connecting all the dots here with what you're saying, because I remember when I first started construction, we didn't stretch and flex. There wasn't, checking your fucking harnesses and all this shit that we just seen the other day. It was literally just show up and go to work, and then after, I guess, insurance claims, they claim they went up. I don't fucking see it how or anything, but now it's like, well, did you stretch and flex? Did you do your THA? Did you do your JHA in the morning? And if people get hurt, you have to prove that you did all of these fucking things, because if not, we get fucked.
That we're seeing more and more of that. The workers' compensation system is a no-fault based system. So meaning we don't have to find somebody's at fault in order to get recovery. The problem is I'm starting to see a slight trend where the employers and the insurers are trying to lump fault onto the employee. Don't say the words fault, say some other things, and then try to essentially blame them and then deny the coverage. We're seeing more and more of that. They're getting more creative. That's wrong. They're not supposed to be doing that.
Well, also with that, I think I don't know if it was like this with you guys, but I remember with the iron workers and the company, they'd be like, you're the competent person. Like, you're the person who's trained, so fault falls on you, even if it's the employee that gets hurt. Like, they just were trying to deny all. So, quick little story. I know you're the guest, but
let's hear it, man.
So, part of the reason, and I told this story to Daniel once, of what motivated me to run into union leadership was one of my key guys got hurt on the job. We were setting some columns off 15 and North 5th, right off the fucking freeway. We're building that bridge there. And there were some guide wires, you know, to make sure that the column doesn't fall into because we were just setting it's just rebar. It's a rebar cage. So we get these things called deadmins, right? And then you put guide wires to them to make sure that it doesn't collapse or whatever. Yeah. And so it's all engineered and all this and that, right? You get your pick plan and your picking points and all that. So I had a guy that was going up there, and we were like, hey, we should probably add one more guide wire, right? So he put the spool of cable. It was like, I don't know, 1/2-inch cable or something. And so he was carrying it up, climbing the rebar cage. He gets to the top, you know, he's working, and all of a sudden he starts screaming, like fucking screaming. And I was like, what the fuck? Are you all right? And I could see, like, throws his hard hat down. He climbs down the column, like climbs out of the hole. And he's like next to me, and I'm like fucking, like, I have my arm around him. I'm like, you all right? And he's screaming, my head. And he like takes off his tools and his harness, and he's screaming, bro. And I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. So I call my employer, and I'm like, hey, bro, he needs help. And they were like, whatever you do, don't call the ambulance. Just put him in your truck and take him to quick care.
Yeah, man,
so I was like, fuck. And I'm the guy in charge of the job, right? I wasn't the steward or anything. Right. And so I was like, yeah. I take him to fucking quick care. He's screaming, bro. I get his phone. I'm trying to call his wife. I'm trying to like do damage control. We go to this fucking little quick care place, like a minute clinic, put him in there. I call the boss when I get there, and he was like, make sure they don't prescribe him anything over fucking 50 milligrams or whatever, because then it becomes a recordable. And I was like, I can't tell the fucking doctor don't do that. Like, what, like, and he goes, bro, you need to fucking tell him. I said, hey, I ain't fucking doing it. And I hung up on him.
Right.
Dude, him and the safety manager come down to the fucking minute clinic where we are. They're trying to tell the doctor, like, no, we got medicine. We got, you know, don't worry about it. Like, we're going to take care of him. And they were like, he's in the fucking ambulance going to a hospital. Like, he is beyond our fucking care. And they were like, no, we got trucks. We could take him. Like, dude, they were, keep in mind, big fucking union company. This ain't some small mom and pop shop that's about to go fucking broke. Yeah, the sad thing is that a small mom and pop shop we found in doing our work is that they take care of the employees better than these big fucking corporations. The big corporations, whether they're signatory or not, are oftentimes, man, the ones who want to just fuck the member as hard as they can.
It's actuarial tables. It's number crunching, right?
That's all it is.
That's what's happening in those scenarios. Listen, if one of the guys on the job is screaming like that, and that was probably your ground zero, 911.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what anyone's saying.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a doctor, you're not a doctor.
No.
We're definitely not emergency room doctors, you know.
But that just goes to show you
the
how
mindset.
Scared that they have the workers, union or non-union.
That's right. I mean, and you know, everyone knows you, Vince, you're like a quiet wallflower. So they were pressuring you, and you were feeling it. So imagine, you know, a guy that's just a line guy who's like getting that kind of pressure.
Yeah. And that's they try to put that fear in you. So you have these meetings, these foreman meetings. You do all these things, and they're like, here's all the numbers. Here's all the money we lost due to insurance claims. Here's all the recordables. You don't understand. If you want to work, you won't do any recordables because that reflects on the job when we're putting in a bid. They try to scare you, right, into not wanting to put in any fucking claims or do anything because it's like, well, you're going to fuck it up for the whole company and the chances of us winning this big job next time.
Right. So
they shame you.
Yeah, exactly. So you're the guy, you're the Gomer Pyle making everybody do sit-ups, right?
Well, and I remember being out in the field and cutting my finger real bad. Mm-hmm. And it was probably less than a year since I had gotten completely sober. Mm-hmm. And so when I cut myself on the job, I'm like, and it is bad. I was like, oh, I got to go to the doctor. I don't have to call my employer and say, hey, I was never at work today. I'll see you tomorrow, right? That's normally what we do when we're on drugs because we know they're going to drug test us.
Right.
But this time, since I had sobered up, I was like, sweet, I don't have to do that. I said, hey, I'm going to the hospital. I need to get some stitches. My finger's hanging off, you know? And I went to the hospital, and they're like, did this happen at work? And I remember I was so proud. I was like, yes, it did. You know what I mean? I was like,
affirmative.
Yep. Yes, it did. Where would you like me to pee? Because I'm going to use my own pee.
Would you like some hair?
Yeah, whatever you want. And so, I went, and they did all the stuff, and they sewed me up, and they let me go back to work like the next day, like just keep it clean, And I went to work the next day, and my boss was like when I came in, he looked so disappointed. I go, what's going on? He's like, we haven't had a workers' comp claim against us in, I don't know, 5 years. And looked at me like I was such a piece of shit. And I told him, I said, well, I looked around and I said, it's not my fault you don't hire anyone that can pass a drug test. Because that is true. That was the reason, right? The guys on the job, none of them could pass a drug test. So when no one on your crew can pass a drug test, you're not going to have any workers' comp claims against you. But they shamed me,
It's what happens. I mean, the reality is you guys do dangerous work. Human bodies get hurt. It's part of the business. It's in the business model. Never forget that, right? The profit for the company is baked in with these claims. We 100 years ago, when we did workers' compensation, it's so that the employee doesn't have to sue the employer, go to court in front of a jury trial, and like yelling and screaming at each other. It was just supposed to be file the claim, pay the benefits, everybody's cool. But they've turned it around back to now where we have to go into court all the time for everything, even when a guy's damn near cut his finger off, and then they grind you over that. I had one where the gal. And this to the point. Yours was obviously pretty bad, right? Yeah. You cut that finger. I mean, like you said, it was hanging off. It wasn't like I just nicked it.
No,
it was
hanging off.
It was jacked up.
Yeah.
Well, I had one where this gal was like just barely nicked her finger, barely, and what are you going to do? You put a C1 in for you barely nicked your finger. The problem is next day that hand was all swollen up, right? Because she was starting to get infected. Hand was all like purple and big. Like, thankfully, she was still within the time frame to file it.
Yeah, 7 days, you said, right?
Yeah, 7 days. But what if you just kind of drag it on a little too long and then you don't? Next thing you know, what happens if that finger gets amputated? That hand gets amputated because of an infection. Infections happen, So I think it's probably wise to, at the very least, just when something happens, just tell the boss something goes down. Use your text if you're on the line, right? You're out in the field. Be like, I'm not going to go to the doctor right now. I think I'm cool, but this happened. Then we know. Then we've got some proof. And then if you're a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months later, and it's still there, then we can get a C4 filed. Maybe we're not going to file a claim, but if you protected yourself by giving that notice.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, though, too, the boss will be like, oh, well, you gave me notice. Now you got to go to the doctor. No, man, I don't want to go to the doctor. I'm just letting you know I got hurt. I think I'm going to be okay with Advil and some fucking speed tape. You know what I mean? I'll be good. It's up to you whether you want to go to the doctor, and they can't like make you be like, no, man, I'm good. I'll keep working.
And I think that we've found this out too, is that the more we normalize it, the less scary it becomes.
That's right.
Like, fuck you. Like, if everybody on the crew said, oh, you bitch, you put in a claim. Like, no, shut the fuck up, man.
Right.
Like, we got to talk about it more, just like everything else, and normalize it that it's going to be okay.
It's like a generation ago, like, mental trauma was like, oh man, there's something wrong with this dude. You know what I mean? Now, you fall off a scaffold and you're hanging barely hanging on over the edge of the bridge and there's cars going by. That might mentally do something to you, right?
100%.
But, a generation ago, it's like, oh, don't bring up PTSD. At least now it's getting people recognized. People get jammed up for that stuff. Same thing with injuries. Talk about it. Now, if a guy's hurt, gal's hurt, they need to be protected, and that's what the laws do.
Yeah.
And if the crews and the guys are busting each other's balls,
the own worst enemy.
You don't do that. Just be like, hey, man, you good? At least report that thing. At least fire a text off to the boss. Right. And, I'll make sure you're okay today. I'll carry a little extra load.
And is it I feel like it's our job.
Yes.
To inform the
100%.
members, to tell them to do that. Like, you're fine. You're going to be fine.
Yeah. Are we back? We're back, dude. Vince had to poop.
Yeah, sorry.
You all right?
Just blame McDonald's.
So
did you see when he came back in? I don't even think his feet were on the ground. He was so light.
He was gliding like a gazelle.
Like a gazelle. He ran in here.
Yeah. He looked like it was like on a show. He just glided across the floor. It was beautiful.
All right. So, couple things. One, we were talking. I think it's important to kind of highlight. I'm a trustee of my health and welfare fund.
Yeah.
And we have temporary disability, and so if a worker gets hurt outside of work, right? They are skateboarding,
playing basketball,
whatever, and they get hurt. Obviously, they don't get workers' comp. And so our health and welfare will pay them a certain amount per week. They'll freeze their health and welfare benefits so that they keep their insurance while they're being treated for whatever their injury is. And I've had workers before ask me, well, if I get hurt on the job and I can't pass a drug test or I don't want to cause any problems, can I just use the temporary disability? And that's really just a transfer of liability, and it's really defrauding our health and welfare fund. And so touch a little bit on what happens when a worker chooses not to go the workers' comp route when that is really who is responsible for paying those claims.
That's the worst of all worlds, right? So the system is designed to be in place where the business that is advancing the labor for this bears the cost for when human beings get hurt, right? You guys do dangerous work. I mean, you're not shuffling papers around on a desk. You're doing physical work in reality that is risky. It's known that human beings are going to get hurt doing this work. It doesn't have to be someone's fault, or maybe someone accidentally did do something. Maybe someone did do something stupid. So what? It's risk. The business model is built to have those costs built in. When guys don't bring those claims against the insurance or against the business part of it, and they lump it back onto your health and trust fund, they're stealing and robbing from themselves, right, and fraudulently.
Our union insurance funds, right, are carrying the burden that should be on the employer's workers' comp insurance, not us.
That's right. And remember, I think a lot of times maybe the guys think, oh, well, our fund. Yeah, it's your money. Some of the money coming out of you, of the contract, you guys are paying, it's yours collectively. It's not someone else's. It's yours. Why would you steal and harm yourself and your own brothers and sisters when the business model was set up to protect you from when you're hurt on the job? Mm-hmm. It's
crazy.
It's one of the worst things I think that a member can do. I think it's probably up there top 3 worst things that a member can do. Harm yourself and your brothers and sisters. For what? The system's designed to protect you already. And instead of protecting yourself, you're harming yourself. Makes no sense.
I think it's more like a cultural thing. Like I said, like we're wired to think that, right? Like it's so stupid.
Vince, that's what I was telling Daniel during the break. I think the last 30, 40 years, people have been indoctrinated to think, I'm the problem if an accident happened. Mm-hmm. Why do you think we call it an accident?
Yes. Accident.
Accident. Even if you did do something, it was like, damn, I should have had the harness on. I wasn't clipped in right. Human beings mess up. So what? It's still advancing the business. You guys weren't shooting hoops on a Saturday. I mean, you're advancing business, commerce. You're building in this community. There's profit being generated from that, and part of that profit pays for workers that get hurt. And to put it in our heads or in the workers' heads, the union members' heads, that you're the problem when you cut your finger off, when you blew out your back, that's not right. And to lump it on each other and brothers and sisters, the funds, you guys have to reverse that thinking, man. They've been drowned in their brains or drilled into their brains that don't file a claim, you're the problem, lump it on the trust fund. Wrong.
Yeah.
And so other than, I mean, obviously, our members all know the one thing that can get your claim denied is testing positive, right, for substances. You just made a comment like, oh, I didn't clip in or I made a mistake. Is there any other things that a member can do on the job, mistakes they can make that will get their claim denied? Like if they forget to tie off, is that, oh, it's your fault, no more workers' comp? Or what other things can happen on the job?
Again, I was saying earlier that I'm starting to see the insurance companies and their defense counsel start to try to use the ideas of fault to deny claims without saying those words.
Okay.
But our system is with or without human fault. It's compensable. So not clipping off isn't a basis to deny a claim. Only thing that would cut it off is intentionality. Like, I'm going to unclip this and I'm going to fall because I don't want to work anymore. You can't do that. Right? An intentional act.
Oh, there's some guys out there like that too. There's some crazy fucks out there that'll do some.
That'll get hurt on purpose.
Yeah,
the job's ending.
The job's about to end, and like,
if I fall off this ladder,
yeah,
man,
that happens. Like, look, and we have to do our best to try to protect those people, but we also like, hey, man, you got to do better. Like, that was stupid.
Yeah,
fuck's wrong with you?
I mean, there's nothing wrong with upping safety standards and training and making sure guys are taking care of themselves and the members are taking care of themselves and being smart. But when things happen, that's what the coverage is there for, with or without human fault. But typically, you're right, positive drug tests, but they're delineated set of drugs and substances. They have to be tested in a certain way. For example, the most common we're going to see is marijuana,
sure.
Right?
Yep.
Those have to be blood tested.
Depends on craft.
No, for workers' comp.
No, on what the marijuana. Depends on the craft, what substance it is that the most common is, right?
Oh yeah.
Let's be honest.
There might be methamphetamine in others.
Yeah.
Iron workers.
Sorry. Don't. You need to do better. Very disappointed in you.
Those. If you can see it on camera, I thought there was going to be a little brawl. I was going to back up.
No, but that's a question we get a lot from the members is the marijuana, right? It's legal. It's legal. It's legal. And it's like, I know, but they will deny your workers' comp.
Yes, but at the same time, one of the things that I do is make sure that the companies and the insurance companies are following the law. Mm-hmm. So, for example, I had a case that went up to the Supreme Court. It was a death case, and the spouse is entitled to benefits when the person dies on the job. This was a transportation worker. I believe they were Teamsters. I can't recall. It's been a while. Operating a limousine, a car passed in front of him, like real close. So there's video of it, and it looked like he swerved, and because he's driving a limousine, it overcorrected. So he went right, then it went left, crossed the median, then got T-boned, and then the impact caused what's called an aortic aneurysm. Dissection. It stripped his aorta off the heart, and he was still alive. The medics got there. He was super agitated because obviously you're not getting blood flow. You're acting up. They take him to the hospital. He dies about 45 minutes after the impact. They do a blood test posthumously on his dead body, and they found amphetamine. They found methamphetamine. They found THC. So I get I get that report because the wife came in and she filed the claim, and they were like, no, we're denying it. The defense attorney on the other side literally told me, this guy's a walk-in chemistry kit. We're not paying shit. I mean, that's what he told me.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I thought to myself, walk-in chemistry kit isn't what the statutes say. So I methodically worked backwards on this thing. And I started to find things out. See, because people assume things when they see these type of. This guy was missed work the day before, was on a bunch of over-the-counter antihistamines, as well as the stuff called Vicks Vapo Rub Inhaler, and it tests positive for a chemical that's identical to methamphetamine. Not to bore everybody, but the chemicals can be left-handed or right-handed, but they test the same.
Gotcha.
And this guy had that in him. And then I hired this toxicologist because I was like, this woman's going to lose a lifetime of benefits if I don't get to the bottom of this.
Yeah.
So I figured it out, and he was like, well, the amphetamine in his body is just being broken down from the methamphetamine chemical, but it's not necessarily the illegal version because they didn't, if you look at the report, they didn't test for the legal and illegal version. Looked at it. I took that into court. And the THC that he had was the inactive THC, so he didn't have any active in him. And I took that in. They first denied. I went up to the district court. District court was like, no, you were right. They got to test all the stuff correctly. They didn't test it right. I ended up turning that around, got that lady lifetime benefits for spousal benefits because they were not able to prove. It's not my burden to disprove.
Yeah.
They didn't prove that was actually illegal methamphetamine in him. So I'm not telling you this to tell your members like, oh, there's ways around. But they have a job, the insurance company, and the statutes are what they say. So don't just believe everything the insurance company tells you. And we fought that up to the Supreme Court.
Nice. And you won?
Oh, yeah, we won.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Another quick question. So the 7-day reporting period.
Yeah, we call that the notice window.
The notice.
You got to give notice.
Yeah, that notice. That seems short.
It is.
How do we extend that? Would that be through the legislature?
That's right. By the way, I sit on the workers' compensation panel for the National Football League, the National Hockey League. So when players get hurt in Nevada, they'll send them to me. Well, I'm on that panel with attorneys from all over the country. They are stunned when they hear our notice and our claim filing requirements. The 7 days and the 90 days, shortest in the nation by impossible distances. I mean, most states have 6 months, a year, 2 years, ways to extend those if they're getting care and treatment. We have the most strict filing requirements in the United States. And it made sense when we were a public run system because everyone knew where to go and what to do. Well, when the public system was removed, these time frames are still short as if we have, like if everyone knows, you go to SIS over on West Charleston. Like everyone knew that. Every employer just knew SIS. Everybody just knew that that's what you had to do. State industrial insurance system. That's the way it used to be. But the time frames didn't get significantly altered when we went privatized. That's probably a big area that could be addressed legislatively. Do I think we're ever going to get a public system back? No, but I think that we can fix those timeframes so we're not the outlier in the United States and we're not the worst operator in the United States from the filing deadline.
Well, because to your point, I mean, if there's only 7 days and you get a little cut on your finger, like you have to give notice.
Right.
But if you have 60 days or 90 days, maybe you wait and see if that cut's going to heal up, right? Because you have time if it gets infected to go, all right, you know what, I do need to give notice.
That's right.
But 7 days it requires you to do every little thing because you don't know anything in 7 days. You have no idea how bad it's going to get.
You're absolutely right. And also, you're feeling that pressure. It's like, do I got to complain about everything?
Yeah.
I twisted my knee. And it's like, I've twisted my knee 100 times. I know what I got to do. I got to icy hot it. I got to put my Advil on it. And she's going to be fine, right? Mm-hmm. But with this system, you get punished if you don't. And you get pressured if you do. So it's like a damned if you do, damned if you don't. And it's wrong.
Right.
And I think you're absolutely right. I think legislatively altering those timeframes so that they're more in line with the rest of the nation would be a fair way to handle this.
And you're familiar with the legislature, right? You go up there and
absolutely
do some stuff.
Yeah, I've been working side by side with Vince and others. I'm in the Nevada Justice Association. That's the trial lawyer association in the state. And I've been going up there since 2015 and have lobbied on pretty much every major workers' compensation bill for the last 6 legislative sessions.
That's what I was about to say. Sounds like NJA just got a new bill to run.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, obviously, there is no such thing as a simple bill up there, right? Anything you try to do turns into chaos. But like
Vince, that's not true. It's so easy, right?
But I mean, if there was an argument, right, in a perfect world, and we said, hey, we're going to present a bill, and we just want to extend the notice time from 7 days to 90 days. It obviously, with your experience up there, I mean, there's going to be pushback, right? There's going to be.
If unions, organized labor, trial lawyer association say any words out of their mouth, it's instantly like it must be coming. We must be trying to like destroy the universe.
So here comes
here comes the typical,
which is absurd.
The
right?
usual suspects show up. I know you hate it. I told you, it's easy, bro. Like anybody, the unions and the trial lawyers could be like, hey, all we need is this funding mechanism, and we'll be able to cure children's cancer.
Oh, yeah.
The same fucking people, whether we were trying to lower prevailing wage or extend the time for fucking the same cast of characters would come out to oppose us. The same
I
fucking
like to
ones.
say it's like that we were. You'd think we were asking to take baby Jesus, put him on a spit, and eat him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like crazy, right?
It's nuts, bro.
Yeah,
It's
we
nuts.
have to figure out a way to get that 7 days extended.
The 7 and the 90 again
Yeah.
are the shortest in the United States. When I interact with these other workers' compensation attorneys, who are the top compensation attorneys in their state because they're representing the football players, hockey players, baseball players in their state, they look at me like I'm nuts, like I'm making it up. That's the time frame.
So let me ask you: are you telling me that if a hockey player gets hurt playing
Yes.
here, they file for workers' comp?
Yes.
That's dope.
Football. If you are an employee in this state,
Yeah.
and you get hurt on the job,
Yeah.
you have a right to bring a workers' compensation claim.
What if you get sick on the job?
We have occupational disease statutes.
So I remember when COVID first came, like that was a big thing. Like, well, I just got COVID on the job. Can I file a workers' comp claim?
The occupational disease statute it's in a separate set of statutes. It's a higher, tougher burden. So you most certainly can try to bring those claims, but you have to prove a whole host of things.
Sure.
And it's often difficult. Fall off a ladder, blow out the knee. I mean, people can see it. Get some type of disease process. It's like, well, where did that come from?
Right.
How did you get it? Is it more likely than not that it happened here? Are you more likely exposed outside of work? There's all kinds of tests. But there are protections in the occupational disease statutes. You see this from like silicosis and other types of work that you guys might run into. Right. You know?
Yeah.
Breathing things in.
Yeah,
Sure.
What's with the whole hockey? And this is just us talking now. Nothing with the construction industry. Is there like a state that has more claims than other because the benefits are better?
Well, what ends up happening is all 50 states have a different system.
Yeah.
It's part of federalism. All the states just make up their own workers' compensation rules. So there are states that are more worker friendly, and there are states that are less worker friendly. We know how that is, right?
Where do we fall?
We're kind of in the middle. Our time frame is the most ridiculous, but a lot of times when you start hearing that we're like the costs are exploding and we're ballooning, that's nonsense. The state of Oregon every 2 years is mandated to do a study to compare themselves to all the other 50 states and where all the other states are from their workers' compensation rates. We're number 42 cheapest in the nation, Nevada. So that means there's 41 other states that are more expensive than us. So we have a very efficient system here, even when the other side is complaining and whining. I like to say, hey, when we start getting in the top 10, then maybe we should have a conversation about cutting benefits. But until then, we need to expand benefits for these workers.
Well, and to your point, you're saying that we're cheapest for the employer.
That's what I'm talking about.
Which means that we're cheapest to the employer because they're denying claims to the worker. We're not cheapest. That burden is just being transferred to the worker.
And to your health and trust fund.
Right, to the union's trust funds.
To the public welfare rolls, go to the community hospital when you get hurt and you use those type of funds. So
crazy.
Yes, the cost per $100 of workers' compensation coverage, we are 42nd cheapest in the nation. There's only 9-10 states that are cheaper than us.
Yeah. One trend that I've seen more recently, I feel, and maybe I'm wrong, is typically when someone got hurt, they'd be out until they were better, and then they'd get released from the doctor and then come back to work. Now it seems like more and more of my members are almost being forced back to work before they're ready to like count screws, sit on a desk, like, hey, we don't care. You're not actually going to work. You're going to sit on this desk. You're quote unquote light duty. We know there's no light duty in the construction industry. I had a member who hurt his ankle, had a cast on it, had crutches. And they said he had to come back to work and he was going to sit at the GangboX and he was going to, do safety seminars and count screws and do inventory. But in order for him to get to the GangboX, he was in his crutches walking across the job site down little ladders and rough terrain. And I had to step in and go, no, absolutely not. He's got crutches. He can't walk across that terrain to get to the GangboX to count your fucking screws. So like, is that a change that's happened? Like, are these insurance companies forcing these guys back to work earlier, and for what reason?
Well, so they don't have to pay temporary total disability benefits. So they just send them back to work. Also, maybe they can get the guy to quit, or they can get the person to go back to work and tell their doctor, I don't need any more care. there's all kinds of pressure. It's one of the reasons, I have a job for the last 25 years doing this specific work. I've testified in the Nevada legislature many times. And when they asked me once, it's like, well, how can we reduce the amount of claimants seeing lawyers? I go, simple. Could have heard a pin drop in there. And they were like, what do you mean simple? And I literally turned around and I pointed to everyone that was on our opposition. I said, if those people would just do what you people up on the dais order them, then I'll go write wills or do something else.
Yeah.
Because you've invented a good system. They're just manipulating it against. That's why people walk into my office.
Who's your biggest opposition? And you don't have to name drop, but
you can.
Industry. You can. You don't have to.
They're equal opportunity opposition. I mean, you name it, from trades to retail to it doesn't matter. I mean, it's
not our trades.
No, what I mean is that from trades, meaning people in the trades, their insurance company. Follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not trades per se.
Yeah, your opposition's insurance companies.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. So it doesn't matter if the guy's in trades, if he's in retail, if he's, hockey player, if it doesn't matter where we're at. We see opposition all over the place.
We like to offend politicians on this podcast, so go ahead and tell us the one you hate the most.
Yeah, no.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, the last guy that tried that almost got canceled.
No. We have to work with
That's true.
Friends and enemies
That's what
alike.
he tries to teach me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
no, I try to tell him that. Like, no, seriously, despite what people think, I could give two fucks, first of all, what anybody thinks, except for Dan. Dan's the only person I care what thinks about me. I was trying to explain to him and to the other building trades people, like, you legitimately, rule number one, no permanent friends, no permanent enemies.
That's right.
But if you want a fucking friend in the legislature, get a fucking dog. Like, don't try to find any elected official to be your friend.
That is full contact sport up there.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah,
I mean,
bro.
it's elbows out, eye gouges, face mask. It's all legal.
And then, right, like we were talking about some lobbyists out there, like not talking negative.
Right.
We were just bringing people. Hey, have you talked to so and so? Friends during special opposition. Now we're talking about running legislation together again. Like, you can't. If you're going to have a permanent enemy, you're not going to go very fucking far in the Nevada legislature.
That's not a thing.
Fuck no.
It's issue bill based.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's almost like those old cartoons where it had like the dog and the sheepdog and the wolf, and they're like, hey Jim, hey Joe. They walk up and then they clock in and they knock each other out, and then they clock out and they go to the bar and have a drink together. It's just like.
That's literally what it is.
I mean, that's what happens, right? Yeah. And you kind of have to do that. People know what's going on. They're digging in for their folks, and that's what you're supposed to do. And then next bill, I mean, last session, not the special, but the session before, I mean, traditional like adversaries of ours, we got lined up and we're sitting next to each other and we're like, hey, man, we're together on this. And it was like, what? We confused everyone. No permanent friends, no permanent enemies. Absolutely.
It's the same 200 fucking people for 120 days.
Yep. Absolutely.
Running fucking, what, 2,000 fucking pieces of legislation or something crazy, bro.
Yeah, and all the little intricacies that come from all that, you know how it is. We get worked up there, we get fired up, yelling and pissing and moaning at each other, and then afterward you're like, okay, what can we do?
Yeah. I can't stand Ira Hansen the most.
Yeah. He's not shy about it at all.
See how easy that was?
He's going to be your new congressional delegate, right? Or
he's
running for Congress.
I don't know.
Yeah, because Amade not running again, right? Mm-hmm. That's going to be a pretty full.
What in your opinion? Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No.
In your opinion, I mean, and maybe the answer is this 7-day thing, but what is the number one issue if we had to make a change to our system right now? And you could wave the magic wand and make that change. What is it that you think that change needs to be?
Honestly, the lack of our ability to bring bad faith claims. I know members are like, what the hell is that? So I remember running into Danny Thompson after I got a pretty big bill through a few sessions ago, changing the number of doctors that people could see. And he cut through the crowd and walked up to me. He was like, man. He's like, that's one of the biggest pieces of workers' compensation legislation that's ever made it through this building in like decades. And I said, I know. And he goes, I don't know that everyone knows that. I go, they don't. And he goes, but you know something, Jason. He goes, none of it matters until we get bad faith back, because they're just going to, no matter what we say and we write, they just don't follow the rules. Yeah. If you don't follow the rules, Who gives a shit what the rule is? And we don't have, bad faith was taken away from us decades ago. So let me give you an analogy for your members to understand, like bad faith. What is it? Imagine if you were to go to Bank of America and rob them, right? And you got $10,000 and you walked out and you got caught. And the system went, you know what? You don't not going to jail and give 9,000 back. What are you going to do tomorrow? You're going to rob the bank.
Yeah, that was great.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, so what bad faith does, it's like jail for companies. Because companies only understand one thing. Money.
Yep.
Right? Because that's the only thing a company does. If you can punish them for bad action with financial punishment, then they don't do bad action. So all insurances in this state are subject to bad faith rules. They have to deal with you in good faith. Health insurance, car insurance, life insurance, not workers' compensation insurance. So it encourages them to behave badly. Great news. Last session's Skip Daly did some great work expanding the benefit penalty system, which is supposed to be the workers' compensation ways to deal with bad faith. It's not enough, but thank God that Senator Daly got that through because it was some good work. But it's not enough. It's not enough. They continue to act wrong. And it's difficult to punish them for acting wrong. So if we couldn't get bad faith back, then we need to make it more accessible to explain exactly when insurance companies are doing things wrong, like delaying benefits, denying benefits wrongfully, running the clock out on folks. We should have an easier way to punish them for handling claims in a bad faith manner.
How many of these? Yeah. How many of these worker comp insurance companies are there in town? Is there is there like 3 or 4 of them?
No,
is there hundreds of them?
Right. The answer to your question is both. So there's a handful of several big actors.
Yeah.
But then there's hundreds of others that are involved in Nevada, right?
Gotcha.
Whether it's self-insured or outside insurance companies, but there's some large third-party administrators, some large insurers that have the monopoly. Probably 4, 5, 6 different companies are kind of have the lion's share.
And some of those companies are complete pieces of shit, I would assume.
I would agree with that sentiment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right on, man. Well, GGRM is everywhere in our world, in the union world, and obviously other than just building trades, man. But give your plug, dude. Where could they find you? And I don't know if I know Pete's the technical fucking guy. Maybe we could shout out Pete and Greed Apple Studios. Come get your hour. Man, for $100.
This place is great.
It's fucking badass,
awesome,
dude.
I'm really impressed with this place.
There's a hidden gem.
Yeah.
We don't want to let anyone to know about it though, because it's our spot. Like, did you hear how mad we got when someone else did a podcast in this room? I feel like this should be our room.
This is called the GangboX.
The GangboX room only.
But so no, I mean, tell us. Yeah, he's added more rooms. What's your name? Where could obviously name, email, phone number, where they can find you?
Sure. Jason Mills. I'm at the GGRM law firm. We're the largest and oldest workers' compensation firm. We've been around 56 years. My partners and I are now the second generation partners. We're in North and South. We offer discounted rates to all union members. We have doctors on staff. Our lawyers are on staff. North and South. No other firm has the number of what's called rating doctors that assess your claims. These are not outside guys. These work for us to make sure that the folks are getting taken care of. My email, jmills@ggrmlawfirm.com. Happy to help. We appreciate you guys. Love working close with your union, with the trades. Love it, man. Appreciate being here.
No, we appreciate everything.
That was awesome. That was a great discussion.
It was good, man. It was really, really good.
Cool.
I know he said he didn't. We all have to work together, but favorite legislator in the building.
Yeah,
he's got a favorite. He's got a favorite.
Who's your favorite?
I'm gonna tell you right now, the majority leader.
Oh yeah.
She helped us on a big bill during the special session, and that was pretty awesome. Now there are a bunch of good ones that we really are friendly with, but
Sure.
I mean she just knocked it out of the
Rock
park
star.
during the special for us on a bill that was really important called SB7.
I thought you were going to say Assemblymember Yorick.
Well, he's not an assembly member anymore.
I know. It's like the Marines.
Yeah.
Once an assembly member, always an assembly member.
Yeah, he
That's his partner.
yeah.
Yeah, Toby Yorick.
Yeah, he did 2 terms, and he was like,
No thanks.
yes, it's tough up there. It's tough. He's working close with the governor now, but it's tough up there, as you guys know. It
for sure.
takes a lot out of you.
Right on.
Awesome.
Well, appreciate it. Thank you
Thank
very
you so
much.
much.
Yep,
Absolutely.
We'll see you guys.